MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by The Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. Alright, give me 1 minute. I didn't check to make sure my screens. How's everybody doing, by the way? Got to adjust these my screens are all messed up. What's this? Okay. These things are really messed up. I don't even know how this happened. All right, there we go. That looks better. All right, so last trading day before a long weekend, we got Juneteenth on Monday. I didn't really check the calendar. I'm sure the futures market will be open, and then the U.S. stock market will be closed. I just remember seeing an email and everybody's talking about it, but I didn't really look into it. But I won't be trading, of course, even if the futures market is open. But that is what we got. Coming up for our awareness today, I'm gonna bring up these pre-market awareness. Get back locked in. All right, so here's our pre-market awareness. I've had to redraw my pre-market snapshot because we did have another supply run leading into RTH, and we're still kind of lifting the supply before the open. So we are open now. We did lift the overnight high to roughly 475. So we are open. Took a quick little dip into the bear zone, the PR -2, before running the supply overnight through London session into the open. So of course we've been running it, pretty strongly for the week, for the last several trading days. And it's likely that we're gonna have some, participants that are expecting some sell-off. So we'll see what wholesale wants to do with that, how the market responds to that anticipation. I'm not gonna really go through all of this because, I got about, so my trading window is open, but that's really what we're looking at. We're still running the supply. And with that, with these higher highs from a daily perspective and intraday perspective, it is likely that a lot of participants will be expecting some selling. But we shall see what the market gives us. Stay flexible. And so let me lock in. Get ready to do my thing. deleting the thing. Accident. This yellow line here, that session highs at 476. In case I need that there. Nice inventory response off of 412 that we came right back to. Now we're slicing through that. So the anticipation is being fed currently. I also kind of had the similar situation at the open yesterday. We'll see how far they take this. Pretty hot. Volatility is relatively strong. I'm messing up. I placed the wrong orders. Did have a nice short there, but I hit the wrong button and ended up buying where I was supposed to be selling. That would have been a nice one too. When I make mistakes like that, it is what it is. It's one thing about using the stream deck, and also, trying to focus on multiple things at one time. I don't know if it's just, well, actually, I know it's not just me. I noticed something interesting yesterday, technical issue I had to where my screen just froze. I saw that with some other people on YouTube to where their screen froze in the middle. So I don't know what that's all about. And they're using a different platform. So it's really interesting because when I was in the middle of a trade yesterday, I placed the order and then like just all of a sudden my screen froze on me. While I was in the middle of that trade, I ended up taking a significant loss due to that. Well, not due to it. I wasn't, I didn't get to respond the way I was supposed to what the market did. That's why sometimes, it is kind of good to place a hard stop loss, just for like an emergency stop loss, just in case something crazy happens, you lose your internet, your screen freezes for some random reason. And also on that note, when those mistakes happen, when those technical issues happen, you gotta have amnesia. Forget about it and just act like it didn't happen. If you keep, if you overthink about it, you start stressing out about it, and they start triggering their emotions. Just keep doing what you're doing, unless you just check where you are in terms of your risk and all of that stuff. Make sure you're still locked in like you need to be. And if everything is okay, you're still good to trade, then trade everything. Do the same thing like you were supposed to take that loss or whatever. Follow your plan like nothing out of the ordinary happened. Even yesterday, with that technical issue, I also had some mistakes of my own. But because I was able to kind of have that amnesia, I was able to recover. Well, I don't like that kind of word. I was, the losses, I ended the day in the green. There we go. I had a series of winners after that to where I ended the day in the green after I put myself in a significant hole. But it's, I had to basically have that trader's amnesia to all the mistakes and everything. Let me stop over talking and focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. This is supposed to be my focus hour. It's kind of choppy right now. Been holding this frequency over the last several trading sessions. really, while I was saying all of that, I was really talking to myself to make sure I don't get caught up into any emotional triggers. Start emotionally trading. In all honesty, it is hard to ignore those situations. Inventory at 532. Dropping the inventory with some strength. A nice little inventory at 341. It's very mechanical. Past the 15-minute mark. Strong inventory response off of that mechanical inventory dip. It's at 342. Get a quick inventory response right there at 348. Retesting that area and see if we're going to break it down. Yep, drop the inventory one more time. Back to that strong inventory. Quick look below. Back into that supply area. 360. we zoom out and look at the 3 minute, we've pretty much wiped out all of our overnight action for the most part, back down to, brought inventory back down to PR -1. So they did run the anticipation. Kind of gave us a head fake yesterday. And of course there will be some people with some participants with a bullish sentiment who had their stops wiped out from all of the, the excitement, the inventory excitement over the last few days, or the previous few days. But really since June 8th, I actually marked that off. I think in my pre-market awareness. That's the last time we had a dip. They do with this inventory down here. Got supply at 364. That's holding up pretty well for now. And we're gonna add some quick inventory at 356. Feel some liquidity on both ends of that. Now we're taking advantage of that inventory liquidity. Nice little budgeting price action. I'll take it right back up to that supply. So that's why I read that as budgeting. We want to trying to get our budget back together, get some more supply so we can make some more money. Some more inventory so we can make some more money off the supply. Grab that last little bit of inventory that was created off of that liquidity. And then we're gonna take that up, sell it to the market. The one before I'm probably done for the day. I did get myself out of the hole that I put myself in with that mistake. Even though it wasn't a goal. The goal is just it's not to actually remove a rule that I had in my pre-market checklist that had me, it was kind of framed to have me focus on my P&L a bit too much, right? Now, since I do have some funded evaluations that I'm going through just because they had some sales. I just went ahead and signed up for a couple, which will remain nameless because I'm not really that focused on trying to promote funded programs at this moment. But anyway, where was I going with that? So with these funded accounts, there is a focus on the P&L because you're trying to meet the profit target without hitting the trailing drawdown and all that stuff. But that's out of my control. But anything in my control, I want to remove my focus on my P&L as much as possible because that's irrelevant for me making money, as crazy as that may sound, right? What I need to do is focus on following my strategy, executing to the best of my ability, and the profits will take care of itself. The P&L will take care of itself. I don't have to worry about the P&L. I just need to worry about executing the way that I'm supposed to. So, I noticed that yesterday that I had that in there, even though it's something that I've been aware to, because I would stop trading due to that rule, and then I would continue to have good setups. And if I would have followed that rule yesterday, then I wouldn't have been able to end my day in the green. I would have had to end my day in a big hole. Actually, no, because that didn't. Well, so if I would have been if I would have followed that, not the rule, but the mindset to trade based off of what my P&L is, then I wouldn't have been able to, end my day in the green yesterday. I would have had to hold a significant loss overnight, which more than likely, knowing myself, is going to trigger some emotions because of how it happened. Not that it happened, but how it happened. It happened with me making a mistake, plus the technical issues. But me quickly having amnesia in that moment, and I was able to just follow my strategy, follow my plan, and then let the P&L take care of itself. So I am not going to sit here and act like that's something that's easy to do. That comes with experience. I know I definitely would, took me a long time to get to that point, or to get to this point. And I still got work to do to keep working on that and building off of that. This kind of reminds me of a podcast I was watching yesterday. Of course, it was around basketball. I'm a big basketball fan. And there was this rapper that was Simba that was talking about some advice that he got from Kevin Durant. Is one of the best players in the NBA for those who don't follow the NBA. But anyway, what he said was, basically he was asking him, or they were talking about what he was doing in his free time. Like, are you gonna do, and when you're not in the studio making music, what are you doing outside of your your quote unquote work? Are you doing what the average person is doing? Because you're trying to be a star, right? He was pretty much, the story that he was telling, that KD was telling him, that you're trying to be a star. So trying to be a star, you don't want to do what the average person is doing. So in your non-working time, what are you doing? Are you doing things? Are you doing like activities of a star? Are you doing the activities of an average person, of a fan? And that was some advice that kind of helped Simba, get to where he's trying to go and hit his goals. And I think that applies the same to trading, right? We all know that the majority of traders are not successful in this environment. The people who attempt to trade, they're not successful at it. So when you're trying to be in that minority of successful traders, one thing to definitely look at is, what are you doing when you're not actively trading, when you're during your non-trading hours? Are you working to improve yourself, your whatever weaknesses that come up for you when you're trading, that you're aware of when you're trading? Are you working to get better at your strategy? Are you working to get better at reading the charts or the fundamentals, however you like to read it? Are you doing what the average person, the 90+% are doing? Where maybe you're not really focused on trying to be improve yourself or be a better trader. You're just giving your time to some just some random quote unquote time wasting stuff, right? What you do when you're not actively trading has a strong effect. And let me just put it from my perspective, right? Let me talk about myself, because I don't know you. I don't know who maybe heard this, right? That's kind of, side note, that's kind of one thing that kind of burns me up a lot of times. I hear a lot of people on social media that, that get on there and they start saying you, like they know who's listening to what they're saying. But if you have thousands of people that's tuning into your video, there's no way you know each of those people, so you don't know if what you're saying is actually going to help them or if it's going to hurt them. So what I like to do is I like to give my experience, and if you find value in it, then you can apply it, and if not, just keep moving, right? So in my experience, I've always had better results when I focused on doing things outside of what the average person would do, right? What the 90+% would do. And that's really the focus on stuff like, reviewing my trades, trying to improve areas that I need to improve on, like patience and consistency. One of the things that keeps me posting on social media is so I can work on my consistency. That's kind of, showing the lifestyle part of trading. That's why I started doing the fit trader movement. But also I started posting that every single day to work on my consistency, so I can make sure that I stay consistent to something every day, and that's going to feed over into my trading. And since I've been doing that, I have been more consistent with executing my strategy. Of course, it's not perfect. I'm still human. We're still human. We're going to make mistakes. But it has helped me improve my consistency by being consistent in areas outside of trading. So that's just something that came up for me yesterday as I was watching that podcast, and I feel like it would be pretty cool to share that awareness. As we come into the B period, we did come back to that PR-1 inventory, grab some more inventory off of that, take it back to some mechanical supply at 360. And we do have some quick inventory at 348. As we roll over with some volatility, a volatility spike into B period, taking us all the way back for a quick supply response off of VWAP. We're gonna lift above that. We also have PR+2 at that area. Continuing to get supply responses. That would have been nice if I had a trigger down there. It would have been nice if I would have took that trigger. That would have been a nice one. Says Hindsight Capital. So we got quick inventory off the PR high at 375. Take a little shop area between that inventory and supply at VWAP. Dropping the inventory back down to A1. Gonna take out that whole little volatility spike, that B period volatility spike, back down to the shop below PR50. Lift the inventory there to 360, which used to be supply. Was previously supply. Potential inventory lift. See where price goes from here. Okay, now so that's basically, that was the top of that inventory range. Brought us all the way back down to the 360 inventory. Zooming out to a bigger perspective, I can actually see some more potential inventory run, but I can also see it going in us going back to higher prices, taking inventory and supply back to higher prices. I can see it going in either direction from here. So I look at the 3 minute print. As well as I think this is a 1 hour. Oh, 30 minute print. Of course, for that inventory run, I would want to see a break and hold below like 335. do have a 3-minute mechanical area at 400. So those are some areas that I will be looking at, keeping my my eyes on. And also we can continue to just hold all of the price action inside of this range here. So we got a shop inside of the neutral zone from the PR plus 1 to PR minus 1. Overall supply is at PR plus 1, 390 in sort of a front run fashion. And then inventory at PR minus 1 at 337. And inside of that right now, we're working off inventory at 356 and supply above the PR high at 375. Of course, I'm not expecting that to hold for throughout the session. That's likely to break outside of that. But then we have some supply and inventory lift, interest above and below the current inventory and supply. Got a lot of volume here, of course, at that inventory zone between 360. You know what I'm saying? It's like roughly 354. Still holding that volume gap, sort of a volume gap above 380. We're breaking down they get a supply drop as well as this inventory drop. Going back to our keys inventory zone potentially. I'm gonna front run that. Let's see what we bring. Get the supply response back into A1. Grab that liquidity above A1. It's also a volume gap there too, relative to the rest of the print above 368. Now we're gonna make our way back down to inventory. Just went back to that supply, nice mechanical supply response there. So it'd be interesting to see where it goes from here. I'm not going to be around to see it because I got other things to do. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Hope you all have a good and safe weekend. Don't get too wild for the holidays for anybody that's going to celebrate it. And until next time, trade it easy.